It's Wednesday, June 19. Good afternoon. I'm Herman Green with your midday news. A special welcome to those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. The Rastafarian community in St. James is again getting restive. The group, headed by survivors of the 1963 Coral Gardens atrocities, is again calling for the government to honor the promise for compensation. In 2017, Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament apologized on behalf of the government for the actions of the state at Coral Gardens in St. James in 1963. Earlier this year, it was revealed that $13 million of the proposed $102 million to compensate survivors or their families was put in a trust fund. But to date, the group says they are yet to see a dollar.
Today is 56 years. 2 months, 8 days, no recommend from no one. They treat us like animals. We're tired of them now, I can say it. And I tell Mr. Chang to tell Prime Minister, say, we're going to go demonstrate because they take too long. Out of my division, 2017 dead, not get none yet.
Most of the brethren perishing right now. Need doctor of care, and you cannot find no money. Some sick out can't move, cannot be here today. I even have myself right now. I'm in pain. I have a high pressure. For I drama from those days, from 1963. I drama until this day.
Earlier this year, the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society said a social inquiry report was required before compensation could be granted to the survivors. They said the process of data gathering for the report started last June, but they were awaiting an update from the Public Defender's Office. It's still not clear if that report has been done. But the Rastafarians say the process is taking too long. They feel that at the current rate, none of them will live to get anything.
And not because my face is so clean, but I have suffered. The cause of it, the cause of Rastafari, what took place in Coral Gardens in 1963. And it is time now, after the Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, has promised to recompense us from what we have suffered. I feel it's time enough now for we to receive what we have deserved to get.
Heavy here, a brethren pass on. There's only a few of us already have left. And so we are asking the government to speed up the process. If we can get the compensation now, we are ready.
So we are asking the government now to fulfill the demands and not to carry on going around for many of the elders that suffer the brutality of Coral Garden pass away and man is sick now. So we need the recompense.
Effective July 1, the Walton abattoir in Manchester will be closed. Mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, confirmed the closure yesterday, stating that the facility will be closed as it did not meet the required public health and environmental standards.
Based on their last assessment and review of the operations of the abattoir, it is not feasible, one, to do some of the things that they have asked us to do. The fact is that we are the local board of health, and we cannot just flaunt our own laws, the health laws.
But the butchers are concerned, as they say they have been paying the requisite fees to use the facilities.
We get to understand that no money is there, and we spend a whole heap of money. Up to Friday, I spent $11,000. And no boil and nothing, we have to make up fire.
We have no management here. That's what caused this problem right now. Because them say the trucks will come here and don't have anybody to monitor to draw the waste. And whenever time them say the truck will draw a certain amount and go and say a certain amount. So that's what bringing down this place to nothing.
Now, Mr. Mitchell says the actions taken by the butchers is not a surprise.
A meeting was held actually on the 12th of June in the council chambers with representatives from the southern regional health authority. As a matter of fact, the chief public health inspector and our assistant, I think the veterinary health inspector came, and we went through all the aspects of why is it that they have ordered the abattoir closed. The butchers that were present looked at alternate means, and what it is, there are 8 private approved slaughter places in the parish, and they have indicated which ones who will use.
He also noted that the butchers will have access to the Christiana abattoir, but some of the butchers say it will be too costly for them to travel. In the meantime, Mr. Mitchell noted that the Walton abattoir has been operating at a loss of over $30 million for the past 5 years. Opposition spokesman on education, Ronald Thwaites, is reiterating the call for a full-time education minister to be appointed. Mr. Thwaites made the call at a press briefing yesterday.
Education is far too important for it to be cluttered with other responsibilities. It needs a full-time minister to deal with the transformational rather than the incremental aspects of the entire system, which is the absolute foundation and pivot of any hope of 2030, 5 and 4, or any of the other illusions that we seem to encumber ourselves about unless we fix the education system. Yes, we call for a full-time education minister.
Following the sacking of former Education Minister Ruel Reid in March, the Office of the Prime Minister has assumed temporary oversight. Minister without portfolio, Carl Samuda, was assigned to conduct an administrative review of the ministry. However, Mr. Thwaites believes Mr. Samuda is not the right man for the job.
But he does not have the full authority, nor the experience, he acknowledges that himself, in order to handle this portfolio. Why is it being done this way? It is a shame.
The Ministry of Education is one of the most complex ministries in government, with more than 50,000 employees. We have over 30,000 teachers in both the public schools and the private schools. And it must be for the reason that we need to have a full-time Minister of Education dedicated to the operation of the ministry.
We now take a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. More stories after these messages. Welcome back, continuing the news. Kingston Central Member of Parliament Ronald Thwaites says it would be unfortunate if the People's National Party, PNP, decides to hold a special delegates conference to select a new president before the annual meeting of the party in September. Mr. Thwaites is insisting that a special delegates conference would breach party rules and he will not participate.
I think it would be very unfortunate if any effort like that were made. The normal practice is that these issues are dealt with as a first item in the annual conference in September. I see no reason for any deviation from that.
In the meantime, Mr. Thwaites believes Mr. Bunting's decision to bid for the presidency of the People's National Party is legitimate.
Any person in the party, this is a wonderful institution, has a right to put themselves up for any office, provided they do so according to the constitution of the party. Mr. Bunting has done so, and therefore his challenge is legitimate.
Questions are being raised this afternoon as to who gave permission to China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC, to begin pegging for the construction of the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of the highway in St. Tool's, South Manchester. Residents say they were not told that any work would be taking place in their community. Member of Parliament Michael Stewart, in speaking with TVJ News, says the manner in which things are being done is unprofessional.
The team has been coming in, going through their fields, going into the community, doing drilling, pegging the area for the new highway without any consultation.
It's why he's calling for the relevant authorities to address the matter and call a meeting to provide details on the plans going forward.
There is concern about the flora, the fauna, the environmental impact on their various communities, and so I believe it is quite fitting and quite appropriate to have such a meeting so the concerns of the citizens can be allayed. And I would want this meeting to be held at the earliest possible time.
And it's time now for a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In the next edition of the Health Report, we look at heat stroke, also known as sunstroke.
The high-risk patients are usually elderly patients are more prone to suffer sunstroke. Elderly patients, the diabetics, yeah, and those who consume a lot of alcohol are more prone to get sunstroke.
That's the Health Report this evening in Primetime News. And now for today's Healthy Living tip. To prevent heat stroke, wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothing and a wide-brim hat. Use a sunscreen with a sun protection factor SPF of 30 or more. Drink extra fluids. Take additional precautions when exercising or working outdoors, and reschedule or cancel outdoor activities.
We go on to news in sports. The top spot in Group D at the FIFA Women's World Cup will be decided today when England play Japan at 2 p.m. England, on 6 points, have already secured a place in the round of 16 with wins over Scotland and Argentina in their opening 2 games. Japan, however, are on 4 points, and a win would give them control of the group. The game will be shown live on TVJ. In the other group game, Argentina could replace Japan in the second automatic spot from the group should they get the better of Scotland. A win for Argentina and a defeat to Japan would see the South Americans go second in the group. Scotland, on the other hand, are yet to get a point. And that match can be seen live on TVJ Sports Network, also at 2 p.m. And that wraps up the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News package. On behalf of the News, Sports and Production teams, good afternoon.